in order to prove to you that we're the ones that have the right to lose to Anat and Derek in the finals, we need to show two things. First of all, why we need a society in our form, why it brings happiness to the people. Of course, I'm going to talk about it soon. And second of all, why this is the best way to run a society that provides happiness. Okay, it might be very similar, but you'll understand the difference. What we're saying on this case, and I'm going to explain it in my first point, that happiness is something that cannot be measured by anyone, cannot be agreed by anyone. So on that matter, we say that the government that provides minimal limitations on its civilians, allowing them to pursue happiness, is a government that provides happiness. When we're talking about maximized happiness, we're talking about the ability to pursue happiness. I'll explain it in my first point. Okay, so for that matter, when I'm talking about a minimal government, I'm talking about less services, lower taxes, as minimal as possible. No, thank you. In order to provide service protection over those agreements that people do among them, but not. I'll take it in a moment. But the government that does the minimal as possible. Yes.
So you're promoting a libertarian state.
Yes, we're promoting a libertarian state. Okay, so why is happiness is a form of economic freedom and liberal freedom to the people? Okay, because we accept that we accept that maximizing happiness is something which is unclear. We probably would have a debate on that. Okay. No, another one. So, but we're saying that it's what. Happiness is what a civilian chooses to be its own happiness. Okay, and maximizing it is giving the max opportunity to decide with it. Okay, because the purpose of life is to fulfill happiness, is to fulfill goals. Okay, some find it in their commodities, some find it in their relations, and so on. Okay, and since we don't know what makes each of us happy, whether it's more sex, more food, more drugs, and so on. Okay, if it's clarification only. Yeah. Okay, just a second. Okay, since it varies, the only thing we can promise is the freedom to choose. Yes.
Just to clarify, you support a government achieving majority happiness through doing nothing.
No, we don't. We're not talking only about majority of happiness. We're talking about each civilian choosing his own happiness. We accept the fact that some people may end unhappy in that terms. Maybe many people will end unhappy. What we're saying is that the only way we can know that they have the opportunity to achieve their own happiness that they try and choose for themselves is through a libertarian regime. Okay, and so continuing on in this case, why less limitations can achieve it? Okay, because since we consider the fact that people are responsible or should be responsible for their lives. It's the entire reason people should have rights. For that example, because we think that they can, think that human beings have a central role in creating the world and shaping it, and therefore also have the responsibility for it. Okay, but limitations on their rights, on their economic rights, on the movements and so on. Limitations, for that matter, is assuming that we, as a government, we as a public, or for that matter, the majority of the public, knows what achieves happiness for them, knows what can make them happy, and what won't, the quantity of it, and how. Okay, and to aid one person, to aid a minority, no, thank you. It means taking from another. Okay, so we're saying, for example, if we provide public transportation in some city, it means higher taxes to people who don't use public transportation. Now, we agree that some people might be might be happy if they have public transportation and so on. But we think that since we are not clear on we cannot be clear on the quantity of people who might be unhappy, how much it would harm their pursuit of life goals and so on. We think that high taxes is something that harms it. Okay. So we say that as a society, we need to understand that since we cannot since we cannot quantify how much a person loses, how much he gains when you limit him, we have to consider the fact that less limitations is something that provides the maximizing of happiness for each. Again, and that brings my second point. But if there's a question, I'll take second half.
Okay, then, so tell me, if we, let's say, tax a rich person slightly more, so that an older person can actually get medicines to ease their pain, that's a little bit here, a lot of happiness there. You don't think that's justified?
No, I don't think we can agree on the fact that what is happier for that person or that person. Maybe, no thank you, sorry. Maybe for that rich person it causes immense unhappiness the fact that he loses money. And assuming that maybe for that older person it could be even less, we don't know. We can say we assume, but that's the exact problem of the current regime. Because we assume what he's happy for and what isn't. And we cannot, as human beings, decide for one another if they can be happy or not. This is the problem. No, thank you. Okay? So why is this the best way to handle a society? And for that matter, how we see society and what a state should protect. Okay? Because we say a state generally cannot consider all sides at all time. Okay? We accept that in every regime. Okay, so we have some understanding of the utilitarian perspective in any regime, because we cannot accept that we give both sides. No, thank you. So we give both sides everything. So we're saying that as a society that even before the development of state, society is something that needs to protect commerce relations between people, commercial relations between people. Okay, because when you have commercial relations that two people agree upon, no, thank you, it's a proof to what both of them wish, what both of them want. Okay, by the government. Okay, so we had we had commerce relations in the past. We have even before the construct of the state. Okay, between us, but we need a body to allow. This is why we think still like the state should have some minimal protection over its borders in order to ensure the state some protection over those laws and so on. We think that, for example, free education and free services are not relevant to that issue. And why is that? Okay, because free commerce is protected by two things. First of all, the ability of the state, to provide its happening. Okay, to provide, no one is going to fool anyone for that matter. Okay, but more than that, it's less intervention that can provide it. Okay, it's the only way to provide the agreement between two people. The fact that they can agree on some point. Okay, by allowing them to agree on that without limitation from the outside. Now they're going to claim, of course, that some people need the intervention of the government in order to achieve some basic state for that. Yale is going to continue that. But what I'm saying is that less limitations provide both sides with the maximum ability to decide between themselves what makes them happy, and the ability of the state to provide is that. So for all those reasons, I have to propose.